Hi, and welcome to Puppetize Live. I'm James Pogren, a senior software engineer at Puppet, and in this session I'm going to focus on the PDK integration in the Puppet VSCode Extension. I'll cover how to use the built-in VSCode commands and how to use PDK from the integrated terminal. When I see online tutorials or read how-to guides for how to use new products, they very often focus on day 0 stuff, how to get things installed and configured, but then they start to peter off on day 1 stuff, like actually using the thing to do things. In this session, I'm going to address the day 1 stuff by actually developing a module using VSCode and PDK. We can start by using the command palette, Control-Shift-P, and typing PDK. You'll notice that as we type, VSCode auto-completes and shows us all our PDK commands. We can choose PDK new module from the drop-down here, or we can click on the upper right-hand corner Puppet icon there. I'll hit new module so my hands don't leave the keyboard, and then I'll type a name for the module, and then a path for the module. I'll hit enter. The Puppet extension opens up the integrated terminal and runs the PDK command. Why do we do this? Well, one, we run PDK commands in the terminal so we get the feedback that we are expecting out of the PDK, and that we can ensure that the code or the command runs in the proper environment. We use skip interview here in order to do a simplistic workflow. If you needed to use the interview to create your module, you could do so from the command line, like so, and then open it up in VS Code as you need it. We don't need this original window anymore, so we're going to close it, and then expand our window that we just created. We don't have anything here yet, so let's create a class. Control-Shift-P for the command palette again, and then type PDK new class, and then we get our new class prompt. We'll type in a class name and hit enter. Notice that we have the integrated terminal pop up again, and we've run our PDK command. We also can run PDK commands from the command line inside VS Code and get the same feedback as we did before. We also can open up the files and notice we get the syntax highlighting immediately that we were seeing in the other sessions. We also get the autocomplete, IntelliSense, and code snippets that we had seen before. We also get syntax highlighting for Ruby files. Now you might have noticed that the terminal window is open at the bottom and the output of the PDK commands keep coming up. This is a full terminal so that we can utilize and run the same PDK commands as you would if you were running in your shell of choice. This means that we can take advantage of the power of our favorite shell inside of VS Code while using the PDK. Everything you need is right at your fingertips. As we continue, you'll see the same terminal features you come to expect from the PDK are fully viewable and usable inside the VS Code terminal. Now we've seen some simple examples here, and I've created a couple of classes with the PDK. We should validate the code that we've written, and we would run PDK validate here. However, this is a brand new module and there's not much to validate. We should pick something a little bit more complicated and a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to open up the Puppet Labs IIS module inside VS Code. And then I'm going to run my PDK validate command here. Now this is a module that was not written with the PDK that was updated to use the PDK. So this is an even better example at using the PDK with VS Code. Notice that everything ran. We got the prompt or return, and we've got the visualization that the PDK provides as it walks through all of the validation tasks. Now you'll notice that it ran Puppet lint as well here, but as you know that we get Puppet lint as from the Puppet extension as we type. So we're getting it in 2 places, one as we code, and then one at the end to validate and when we're done. Speaking of validation, it's good to test the code that we have. So we'll run PDK test unit and run our unit tests. Now the IIS module has a lot of unit tests here, so we probably won't wait till the end of these to run. But as you can see, we can run the PDK unit tests using the Visual Studio Code. You can see how you continue to use the PDK and the Puppet extension to continue coding your module and testing it as you go to ensure that it does what you say it does. I hope you enjoyed your session and Puppetize Live. Here are some links. This is our project page, our VS Code marketplace where you can get the extension. Thanks for watching.